welcome to a new vlog. Welcome if you're new here. Hi, I'm Andrea. Welcome back if you're one of my lovely returning friends. It's great to have you all here. Welcome to Friday. I need this Friday. It has been a short week. It has been a short week because I had Monday and Tuesday off for fall break, but the last 3 days have felt like 3 million, basically. There's been just a lot going on. I started a new class. I'll tell you all about that later. And yeah, so it's just been a whirlwind of final prep, grading and admin for the 3 classes I've been teaching, and then starting this new class. First day was yesterday. And yeah, like honestly, it hasn't even been 3 full days that I've been working because it's still the morning of Friday. So it's really just the last 2 days that have felt 3 million days long. Wednesday and Thursday, I'm telling you, they were intense. So I'm very glad to see Friday to just get my work wrapped up for the week and get back to writing. I really want to do some writing. I did manage to do some writing on Wednesday and Thursday, so I'll give you the writing update later as well. Was really happy to get some writing done. Didn't get quite as much writing done as I'd wanted, especially on Wednesday, but then I got more writing done than I thought I would yesterday, considering it was a teaching day. So I'm kind of roughly where I'd wanted to be by Friday, like start of day Friday, but I want to have a big push on writing later today. So I have been doing stuff at home and just getting the day going, but I'm taking a quick break to pop out to the grocery store and also get some coffee. And then I'll go home and I'll get back to work. I've got a meeting at about 1, I think. And for anyone who's wondering, which is probably going to be like 2 of you, Andrea, you're sitting in a car. I don't hear the air conditioning. You're wearing a cardigan. Okay, let's not get excited. It's not that cool out. I think it's like 73 according to my car. My watch is saying 69, feels like 74. So it's not cold enough to wear a cardigan, but it is cold enough that I can wear a cardigan and not die. And I'm jumping at that opportunity. And it is cool enough that I can sit in the car for 3 minutes and 20 something seconds without the air conditioning running and not feel like I am being roasted alive. But it is starting to get just a little bit warm. Doesn't help that I had the sunroof open. I just love having the sunroof open though. So yeah, I'm gonna get my bags and everything I need, and we will get inside. I see pumpkins out front. I know there's going to be more pumpkins inside. It is I mean, we are mid-October now. It is October 17th as I'm filming this. So we are definitely into autumn now, even though it still feels a little bit warm. But I'm smiling. I'm happy. Life is good. I'm ignoring all the stress. The weather is cheering me up. We're going to get all the work done, and then we're going to get to writing. But first, we need to run this errand and then get some coffee and then get home and get back to work. Now later in the afternoon. I just wanted to get all my work done, but mission accomplished. So the grocery store was good. All of that went fine. Got home, got to work, had my meeting. All of that is done. There were other things that popped up in my email, so it's a bit stressful at work this year. like with admin type stuff. So teaching is going great. I feel like I'm having my best semester as a teacher in years. Like it's going so well. But there's lots of other stuff. It's a complicated time to work in higher education, basically. I had my first day of B session yesterday, so I've met a whole new group of students. They all seem lovely. It was really weird being in the classroom though, because I was expecting to see my A session students, but like it felt like nothing had changed for me. I'm teaching in the same classroom, it's the same schedule, but it was a whole different group of students. And I would be looking at someone in their seat and be like, you're not the person who sat there last week. You're a new person. I need to learn your name. It's a new name, a new face that I have to memorize. So I was really missing my A session students, but I'm really excited to get to know the B session students. I'm getting good vibes off of them already. And yeah, it's going to be an interesting 7 more weeks of the semester, so that'll be fun. So yeah, first day went really well yesterday. Got a good vibe off of everyone, and then after class I went over to the library. The English department is 125 years old this year, and so yesterday was the opening of an exhibit at the library celebrating the anniversary. They had a photo gallery wall essentially set up with pictures going all the way back 125 years and then going all the way up to this year. And it was really fun to see like the history of the department from before I started, but then also I've been in this department either as a student or as faculty since 2011. It was just really interesting to like see where the timeline caught up to where I joined and then like recap what's happened since I've been there. And a lot has happened just in the years that I've been there. So yeah, it was really, really cool. I definitely want to go back when I go back to the library to do some research for Project Darkness in a couple weeks or so. I do want to go back and look at the exhibit again and like take my time, because I got there, listened to the speeches that were given before, you know, at the start of the event, and then just quickly went through and looked at everything. But I didn't get to look in that much detail because it was 4:30 and I really wanted to get home. I was really tired, so I do need to go back, but it was a fun day yesterday. So teaching's going well, but I am now done with teaching work for the week. So writing update. Writing has also been going pretty well. Thanks to all of the writing I did over the weekend, or Sunday and Monday. You can go 2 vlogs back to see that. I wrote almost 14,000 words in 2 days. I wrote over 5,000 on one day and over 8,000 words on the next day. And yeah, I still can't believe I did that. That is not going to be a normal occurrence for me. But I do think, especially in the summer when I'm not teaching full time, I think every few months, just giving myself a couple days like that to just see how much I can write in that time frame. I think the main reason I was so successful at writing so much was because I wasn't intentionally trying to write 10,000, 13,000, 14,000 words. I just wanted to spend as much time on both Sunday and Monday writing and just see how much I could write. Turns out it was a lot. The next time I do this, it might not be as much, and that I think is fine. So I think approaching a day like that from the perspective of curiosity of how much can I write, rather than setting a really high target and intentionally trying to reach that, I think that would stress me out way too much. I ended up having a lot of fun and it worked out really well for me. Since then, let me pull up my writing history in Scrivener. I didn't write on Tuesday. I did end up taking Tuesday off, but then on Wednesday I wrote 1,220 words, and yesterday I wrote 1,592 words. I had done about 1,200 in the morning, and then I had time during my lunch break between office hours and driving down to campus, and I did a little bit more, and so I got up to 1,592 for the day, which puts my monthly total for October at 26,381. I wanted to write 30,000 this month, so I'm definitely going to hit that because I still have all of next week, Monday through Friday, and all of the week after that, Monday through Friday. So if I at least continue doing 5,000 words a week, Monday through Friday, then that'll add another 10,000 words to that. So I'm definitely going to get over 30K. Whether I get 35, 40 remains to be seen, but I'm really happy with that. And because of all of this writing that I've done, even with bumping my deadline up to November 24th, which means I now, if I'm writing 5 days a week, I only have 27 writing days left. But because of how much I've written, I have a daily session target in Scrivener of 937 words, which I feel like that's my sweet spot. That is where I am happiest. I feel like I've gotten to a point with my writing where sitting down and knocking out 1,000 words a day is doable, even on a harder day. Like sometimes I can get to 1,000 words in 45 minutes. Other days it takes me an hour, hour and 15. The most 1,000 words ever takes me is an hour and a half. But like 1,000 words, even with my teaching schedule and everything, I can usually still get to 1,000 words. So I feel really good about that number, and I'm hoping I can just keep chipping away at that number. We are now up to, the manuscript is now up to 84,687 words towards my projected 110,000 word goal, but I am partway through chapter 19. So I think in the writing 13 plus K in 48 hours vlog, I had gotten almost to the end of chapter 18. So in the words that I've written, just under 3,000 words between yesterday and Wednesday, I finished chapter 18 and I've gotten about halfway through chapter 19. So I'm going to be working on chapter 19 today. So I only need 937. I'm hoping to write about 2,000 words today. I would really like if I could finish chapter 19. That being said, I've got 2 more scenes left in chapter 19. I'm working on the second to last one, but I've only written about 285 words in that. I need to figure out how long I think that's going to be. I feel like each of these scenes will probably be around 1,000-ish words, so, but they could end up being a little bit longer than that. So we'll see if I can finish chapter 19 today, but I would love it if I could. It's only 3 o'clock. I have managed to finish a little early because I started working early. I might, and if I write for almost 2 hours, I might have time. So we'll see. I'm gonna sit in the magic writing chair again. So I did do some rearranging. I moved the chair around. So I haven't moved these 2 units, but I did move the filing cabinet is now behind the chair. And so now I can just swap out the desk chair and move this in place and pull that up to the window so that I can sit in front of the window and just be in a nice comfy chair. I think that was another big thing that helped over the weekend. I really, really liked being able to sit in that chair. It is more fun when there's clouds in the sky. It's not a cloud. There's no clouds anywhere in the sky right now. So it is more fun to sit in front of the window when it's a cloudy day, but it is a more comfortable chair, and I feel like I can get in a more comfortable writing position and be writing for an extended period of time in that chair. So I'm gonna kind of give the rest of the autumn a try with this slightly new configuration, and then if that works, then over winter break I might rearrange these shelves a little bit just to make it look a little bit more intentional and have things set up in a slightly different way. But I did not want to rearrange this entire side of my office if the chair wasn't even going to fit. It takes me less than 30 seconds to swap the chairs around to make room, so I'm really enjoying that. So that's what I'm gonna do, and I'm just gonna get cozy and get set up and see how much writing I can do today. I swear to God, this chair is magic. I don't know why I didn't think to create a setup like this before. I have written, it's now 5:36, so I have been writing for a little bit longer than I intended, and I took a break. So I think I probably took about a 30-minute break. So I probably still wrote for about the same amount of time I had intended, which was about just under 2 hours. But I wrote 3,039 words. I have finished chapter 19, and I've written a very, very small amount of chapter 20. So we are now in the 20s. Ugh, I don't know what to think about that. I have 5 chapters left. I only have 5 chapters left of this book. I don't know how I feel about that. I'm both excited and a little sad. I won't lie. I'm gonna be really sad when this is done. I was talking about that in yesterday's Patreon update. If you don't know, I am writing daily updates and progress reports on the writing for the day every day this month over on Patreon for my paid subscribers. Link in the description box if you want to come join me over there and have a peek inside my writer's diary, essentially. But yeah, I was talking a little bit about this. I love writing the first draft of a book. It's just such a magical experience, and editing is just a very different experience. I'm excited to be almost done, and I'm excited that I'm totally gonna finish this by the week of Thanksgiving, if not possibly even the week before then, which is amazing. The more time I have for editing, the better. So like, I would love to finish this early, but also I'm gonna be really sad when I'm not writing it anymore. And the only thing that I think is making me feel less sad about that is knowing that there are going to be several chapters that I want to rewrite completely. So editing this book, especially for that second draft, is going to look different for this project than it has for my previous projects. So yeah, I'm not gonna let myself get too sad about almost being done. And I just noticed my October total is now up to 29,420. So I'm not writing another 600 words today. But if I did, I would hit my 30K goal for the month, and it's only October 17th. So yeah, I can't wait to see what my daily session target comes down to tomorrow, because I don't think it'll bring it all the way down to 900. It's got to come down to at least like 920 tomorrow. I'm really enjoying the story. We're definitely getting close to the climax. Every chapter from here on out has something. Chapter 19 did end up being a little bit longer than I expected. It's just over 5,000 words. The manuscript total is also now up to 87,726 words. I am so tired. I'm so tired now, but I'm also happy. I feel really good. But I'm not gonna end the vlog here. I think I'm gonna vlog tomorrow as well, because I might do some writing tomorrow. I don't know if I can not write tomorrow. Saturday would normally be a Project Darkness day, but I might just write tomorrow, even if it's only another 1,000 words, and like get a good crack into chapter 20 and like set me up for Monday. Or I might just spend tomorrow like looking through the outline and like making sure the outline is strong, because there are some things I have been thinking about in regards to the climax and the resolution and some of those kind of big scenes. And so there's things that have now been added up here that are not in my outline. So yeah, I think tomorrow we can go for a hike, because I've only been for a hike on Wednesday this week. With how much rain we were getting, I didn't really get to do any hiking over fall break like I wanted. So I want to go for a nice long hike tomorrow, do some reading, but then also probably do some more writing or outlining. When I was at Whole Foods this morning, the manager of the coffee shop cafe there, he and I were talking. He was asking me how I was doing. I said, oh, yeah, I'm okay. I'm tired. You know, just, you know, work, teaching is is a bit stressful right now. You know, we're halfway through the semester, and he's like, you know, it's been a long year. And he made a joke about how he feels like we all need a month off, he said. Like, I agree, a month off would be really nice. And he said, yeah, a month just on the beach in Jamaica. And I said, oh yeah, I think for me, I'd rather a month in the Highlands of Scotland or something. And he liked that idea. So it just got me thinking that, like, yeah, like, as much as I'd love a month in London right now, like, what I really need is a month somewhere remote where my only options of things to do are, like, sit by a fire, reading or writing, or bundling up and going for a long walk in the countryside. Obviously, I'm stuck here in Phoenix. I can't go walking around the Scottish Highlands, but I can spend tomorrow going for a nice long hike out at the McDowells and then coming back here and reading and writing. So I think that is what we will do in the rest of this vlog. So keep watching, and we'll probably transition straight to a beautiful sunrise hike tomorrow. Okay, it is now Saturday afternoon. I have had a very slow Saturday morning, but it has been lovely. It's just been such a good Saturday. I overslept a little bit, but since I normally wake up around 5:30 at the moment, I'm trying to get back to 5 a.m., but I've been waking up around 5:30. So oversleeping means like 6:15. I just realized, oh shoot, like, I think I've like gone through all of my alarms. I set like 5 alarms in the morning, slept through all of them, or like woke up briefly and was aware and just like, oh, I'll wait till the next one, which is why they tell you don't set multiple alarms. And normally it works for me, but this morning it didn't. But I was still up by 6:15, and the sun's not coming up until 6:30. And it was only 55 degrees Fahrenheit as the low today. So that meant that by the time I got out for my hike by around 7 a.m., it was still only like 60, if even. So it was in the 60s for the entire hike, and it just felt so good. I went out to a different trailhead today. I went out to one that I haven't been to since the spring. Throughout the summer, kind of around May-ish, I spent the rest of the summer just hiking the same trailhead and the same trail exclusively. So I'm a little bit bored of that trail right now. But I did that because it's the busiest trail. So basically I was doing the busiest trail at the busiest trailhead, hoping that hiking a trail with that much increased foot traffic might mean I wouldn't see a rattlesnake. And it might have been a coincidence. It might have just been a fluke, but I didn't see any rattlesnakes all summer. So while I am now very, very bored of that particular trail, I do think my strategy worked. I think it's finally gotten cold enough that they are spending the mornings under a rock somewhere trying to stay warm. We're kind of coming back into prime hiking season where I can just take my pick of whichever trail I want to do. I had a really good 2-mile hike. It was almost all uphill for the first mile, and then turned around and hiked downhill for a mile. And yeah, it was just perma smile. Like, it was just so good. I had so much fun, and the weather was just perfect. And the sun was still pretty low, like at a low angle the entire time I was out there. So it didn't feel that strong. It just felt beautiful. So I had a really, really good time. But yeah, I'm gonna get writing. I don't normally write on Saturdays, but I really want to write. I'm just having such a good time with this project, and I don't know how much I'm gonna write. I'm not setting out to write a certain amount. I'm curious to see what my daily session target has come down to. It'll be even lower today because I'm not supposed to write today. So the real test will be like what it is on Monday. But if I do some writing today, then it'll be even lower on Monday. And even though I plan on continuing to write around 1,000 words a day, I still just get so excited watching that session target just like tick downwards ever so slightly. Yeah, I want to do some writing, but I think first, before I get stuck into Scrivener and into the draft, I do want to go onto Patreon. I have been meaning to do a post on there on like all the details of the book so far, like who the main characters are, a little bit about the plot, some stuff about the locations that you can expect, things like that. Just want to start giving some of those like teaser details. I will share all of that eventually here on YouTube, but I get really paranoid about sharing too many details about a book before like it's close to publication. So I feel like Patreon is probably a good place for me to reveal some of those details now so that I can be talking about it with some people, but it's not like fully public. So I'm gonna draft up that post and get that published on Patreon. If you are so curious and you can't wait, you can always unsubscribe from Patreon, although I love it when you stay subscribed. It really does mean the world to me. It's only $5 a month. The link to join is in the description box below, and it does help support me as an indie author. And it's also kind of turned into my writing journal, writing diaries. It's where I'm just posting lots of behind the scenes of my thought process as I'm working on things. So if you want more of that, like inside the mind of an author while she's writing her book, Patreon is the place to go. Yeah, then I'm gonna get the music turned on, get cozy, and I would like to write for about an hour, maybe a little less now because I'm running a little bit behind schedule, because I do want to spend some time this afternoon reading. I am not reading that much, and I need to be. I really need to be. So I do want to spend like at least an hour, if not two, today reading, and it is 1:45, so I definitely want to start reading by no later than 3 o'clock. So we'll see how much I can get written, and then we'll see how many pages I can read. Okay, it is time to wrap up this vlog. It's time to go get my dinner, heat it up, and get comfy on the couch. I wrote a little over 1,100 words today. Feeling very happy with that. And I could have kept going. Honestly, I could have kept going, but it's Saturday. Saturday is not meant to be a writing day. I couldn't resist writing, but I definitely wanted to hold myself back and stop myself from writing like another 3,000 words today. That's not what the intention was. So I didn't want to write so much today that then on Monday I struggle to get into writing. So because I really want to have a good consistent week this coming week. I might vlog that, but I really do want to try to be doing like no more than 2,000 words in a day throughout this coming week. My daily session target was down to like 824 words. And it's gonna come down even more because it's Saturday. So I have a feeling the actual number, like if I'd waited until Monday, it might have been more like 840 or 850, but it probably is gonna stay, it might even come down to like 800 or something on Monday because I wrote today. So that's exciting. That's really exciting. It just takes the pressure off. And this is one of the reasons why I love this particular feature in Scrivener. I love that it automatically recalculates your daily session target based on how much or how little you write in a day. So I try to always start off by setting a very realistic number that I think I can hit consistently so that I'm at least meeting that number each day, if not exceeding it. And then gradually over the course of the first draft, as I get kind of 25% through, 50% through, and then certainly as I'm like past the halfway point and as I'm nearing kind of 3/4 of the novel being finished, that daily session target has usually kind of been chipped away at and starts coming down. So I always feel like it's been a really productive first draft process when I get to the last 5 or so chapters and that number has dropped below 1,000 words. Even though I continue writing 1,000 words or more, it takes the pressure off the feeling of I have to write a certain amount every day when that number gets to a level where I know even on my worst days, even on my most exhausted days, I can still hit that number. It is very unusual for me to not be able to hit 800 words in a writing session, even like on a Tuesday or a Thursday when I'm writing before going to work and going to teach. I've been hitting that number. So yeah, it just feeling really good about that. So I had a really good time writing, and then I shifted to reading. Still reading A Discovery of Witches, which I'm reading for like the 6th time. Still enjoying it just as much as ever. Still reading it really slowly because I just want to like really sink into the writing. I feel like Deborah Harkness strikes the balance between really beautiful prose and really engaging and compelling story and characters really well. There will be sentences or lines or moments, exchanges between the characters that I'm like, that is just such brilliant writing. But then most of the time, the writing is in support of the story and it's not calling that much attention to it. And I just kind of feel like there are books where I've read where like the nicest thing I can say about it, or the best thing I can say about it, is that it's got beautiful prose. It's written very beautifully. Like, if it's beautifully written but there's not much of a story, then is it really that good of a book? To me, the prose should be the icing on top of the cake. If the cake itself doesn't taste good, then it doesn't matter how good the icing is. An amazing book should be an amazing book, even if the prose is just kind of standard and like not anything exceptional. So like, I'm not opposed to a story that just is a good story, but is written in a very kind of clean and simple language that isn't bad. It's not, you know, clunky sentences. It flows, it makes sense, but it's just not anything extra special. Like, I don't mind that. Whereas a story where there's really not much plot and there's not a whole lot going on with the characters, you know, it's supposed to be a character study, but like, the characters aren't actually that interesting. But, you know, the prose, every sentence feels like poetry. Like, then I'd rather just read poetry in that case. I don't know. I might be in the minority. So others of you can let me know, like, what do you think is the most important? For me, I think the best books, the books that I like the most, are the ones where they are written beautifully and there are moments that just make you stop and reread a sentence or reread a paragraph because the sentence construction and the word choices and the flow and everything is just so perfect. And so as a writer myself, I get kind of hung up on those moments and I want to like then dive in and examine them a little bit more. But the best stories have those sorts of moments, but also underneath all of that, they just have a really good story and characters that you are just fascinated by. And I feel like Deborah Harkness is that kind of writer. The writing is really good and the writing is really strong, but it's also funny and it's engaging and it's entertaining, and the story and the plot and the characters are all, you know, compelling and entertaining. And I never get tired of this series. Like I've said, I've read it like 6 times, and every time I read it, there's something new that I find. There's something new that I catch. And I think that's another sign of really good writing. You can reread it every few years and discover things that you can't believe you missed it the first time, but like they stand out more the more you read it. And so, yeah, I'm loving it. But I've got so many other books I want to read, and I feel like it's gonna be Christmas book season before I know it. So I don't know. I do tend to circle back to fantasy and thrillers and things like that in January and February. So they're not strictly autumn books for me. They're just kind of general autumn winter. I just take a very kind of 4 to 6 week sparkly, glittery, cozy, romantic, Christmassy vibe type break from all the darker stuff. But there are some books that I have on my list that just feel very much like October and early November reads. So I might not jump to the next book in the All Souls trilogy until after Christmas. So we shall see. Anyway, I've been talking for too long. I hope you've enjoyed this vlog. I feel like it's been such a wonderful couple of days, especially today. I don't feel like I vlogged that much of today, but I'm really glad I could take you with me on the hikes, especially since it was the first one back at that particular trail in several months. So you can leave me some sun emojis to let me know which one of you lovely people have made it all the way to the end of this vlog in honor of the beautiful sunshine I had on my hike this morning. And then in the comments, you can let me know your thoughts on prose versus story. Like, are they equally important to you? Is one more important or less important? Can you forgive weaker prose if the story is amazing, or can you forgive a weaker story if the prose is beautiful? Like, is one of those just a total deal breaker for you or not? I would much rather have a really solid story and slightly just less poetic prose or less beautiful prose. The other way around doesn't really work for me. If the prose is great but the story is not, I'm lost. So yeah, you can chime in your thoughts on that. I would love to know. Links to all my things are in the description box below. My newsletter, my Patreon, and all of my books, should you choose to check out any or all of those things. Give the vlog a thumbs up, subscribe if you're not subscribed. I'd really appreciate both of those. And yeah, I will see you down in the comments to chat about story and prose and all of those sorts of things. And yeah, I'm gonna go get dinner and get cozy on the couch, and I will see you all very soon in the next vlog. Thank you very much for watching this one. Bye!